There are three main ethnic tribes in Ethiopia: Oromo, Amara, and Tigray. The Tigray make up less than 10% of the population, but are advocating for secession. The Amara are also a minority, but control the government, politics, and economics. And, well, the Oromo, they are the largest single ethnic group in Ethiopia, but have been violently oppressed since the 70s. I had the opportunity to meet Tesfa, who is from the Oromo tribe and fled from Ethiopia as a refugee. So that you have a bit of a framework to better understand his story, here's a little timeline. When Tesfa was 13, his family sent him to the capital, Addis Ababa, for better schooling. But in 2003, he was forced to flee the city to save his life. Tesfa described Ethiopia as a place of constant stress and pain because of political strife. Because he refused to connect with the leading Amara political group when he went to school, and because he was Oromo, he was targeted. So he was 17 when he fled to Kenya, waiting for his refugee papers to be processed and accepted for the United States. In 2006, his refugee status was finally approved by the United States. He flew to Texas and then was finally resettled in Columbus, Ohio, where he is now in school for nursing. Tesfa shared his painful past, his struggling present, and his hopeful future with me. We lounged for 4 hours at his favorite Ethiopian restaurant, a real hole-in-the-wall place called Lalibela. At our little corner table, the smells of incense and the spices and the booming sounds of laughter and Ethiopian music were really overwhelming. The rice, the meat, the stew, and the delicious coffee were amazing. But what blew me away was Tesfa's story. Here's a taste of our conversation.
ከምግብ በኋላ ይሁን ያ እንደተመቻችሁ ያ ግዛለን ያብ እሺ 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 እናዘግራለን thank you እሺ He's asking me about coffee. He said, you need coffee right now because most of the time we do coffee after, after the dinner, after the meal. I said later on after the meal. But let's talk about coffee. Most of the coffee is produced in Oromo region. But Oromo region is, if you go to Ethiopia, it is the #1 underdeveloped region. The government take away coffee, from the Oromo region and invested in the northern region where the government came. If you go to the northern part where the government is ruling, you think like you are in London. So everything going on over there. But if you go to Oromo region, people are really living, in a poor condition. Many people are even dying. It is under much developed. So when this thing happened to me, actually, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't get enough time, to prepare or to get ready or to say goodbye to my family. So I had to leave. If I stayed back, I know what was going to happen to me. So I had to leave, actually. Even without taking my clothes, without taking my belongings, anything. I just left. It was hard, It was really hard to leave your country, to leave your family behind, your friend behind, and everything your family are behind, But I had to do it, I had to do it in order to save myself. I was forced to leave the country because of some political problem, persecution, because I didn't belong actually to any political party like that. But the persecution in Ethiopia is based on your ethnicity. If you belong to some ethnicity, you will be persecuted regardless of your opinion or your attitude. I'm from Oromo tribe. Oromo tribe is actually the largest tribe in Ethiopia. We cover almost half of the total population of Ethiopia, but we don't have power, we don't have political power like that. The party that is ruling the country is from minority, but is very much sponsored by Western country. I'm sorry to say, it's very much sponsored by Western country. But nowadays, the Western countries are a kind of awake in the seeing, many human rights violation in Ethiopia. This Western country are actually helping Ethiopia or giving money to Ethiopia to help poor people. But the government of Ethiopia use that money for military purpose or to repress people, to exploit people, to use it for political purpose. The ordinary people, the normal people do not know this thing, The government do not allow them. But when you come to America, you have to speak up. You have to be active. I'm still working on it, I still feel shy most of the time. And I don't speak up for my right because I didn't used to have any right actually, that's why. Oh my God, how can you compare the freedom in USA with the freedom, in the third world countries, especially in Ethiopia? Oh, I can't. You cannot compare it. Totally, you cannot compare it. There is no freedom, actually. If there was freedom, why would I have left the country? Because I cannot go back. Since I left the country as a refugee, if I go back, I know they will put me, in jail, in prison, secret detention, so many things is gonna happen. I cannot put it in words because, I really feel deep down in my heart because, I really miss the country and my family. So I was really living in a good life, before I was forced to leave the country. So always, there is no like home. Even if you have everything here in USA, there is no like home, always. I will apply for my citizenship very soon, actually, maybe in 6 months. But once I will be a United States citizen, hopefully I can go back. Not many people wanna go back in the live over there once they were forced to leave the country, once they were persecuted from the country. Yeah, not many people would like to go back. Some of the people, they come here and they get comfortable with life. Here, everything is convenient. They drive cars, they live in a good house, they go to school, they start business, they make money. More than anything, they have freedom here. Yep. If there is anything, I like this country more than anything is, I like, there is freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of explaining your idea and be what you want to be and everything. There is no, basic human rights in Ethiopia. So not many people go back. But I have a dream, I have a vision to go back to Ethiopia. Whatever, whatever will cost me, I have a dream to go back to Ethiopia.
The odds are stacked against Tesfa. He wants to become a U.S. citizen so he can go home to Ethiopia, home to his Oromo people, and give them the medical attention they have been refused for so long. Even if he gets back, there is a slim to none chance that the government will ever allow him to serve his people. Tesfa may still have mental scars. He may never forget. But he is a refugee, a human, putting it all on the line to bring not justice, but to bring reconciliation. From Columbus, Ohio, for footslogging.com, I'm Katrina Helmer.